In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how Jake Ryan Closes is making over $150,000 a month with his info product. I'll be showing you guys the full content system, the full funnel breakdown, and his exact sales process he's using to convert these leads when they're booking a call. Just to let you guys know, I'm not putting this out my ass. I actually did book in a call with his team, so you know it's not just fluff or anything like that. It's actually what he's doing. But yeah, let's get straight into the video. But before I do that, just to let you know, this is going to be raw and authentic, no cuts whatsoever. I filmed this video about 5 times. And every single time, the audio file has corrupted, so it's pretty fucking annoying, but enough of me bitching like a little girl. Let's get straight into it. So first things first, in terms of the content side of things, everything's organic. He's not running ads whatsoever. He's got 135,000 followers on Instagram and around 13,000 followers on YouTube. Okay, in terms of the Instagram side of things, these are the 2 links in his bio. This one's just a YouTube link, and this one is his free training. The reason he's running a free training is specifically because he gets a lot of unqualified leads through his funnel, which I did pick up, obviously going through the sales process, those types of things. So that's the funnel he's running, and then obviously he's just linking people to a YouTube video just to educate them more about what he does, because as I said, his audience is pretty unqualified. Okay, in terms of the content side of things, though, you'll mainly see that it's nothing edited whatsoever. His style of content is super raw, super authentic, and this builds a lot of trust with his audience, hence why he's doing so well. Okay, he's got a lot of trust with them. He doesn't edit anything whatsoever. He's not asking ChatGPT for like 50 video ideas. He's making content on the fly, and he's just doing what he wants to do, honestly, with the content. And that's the main strategy behind it. And what you'll see also on YouTube is it's raw, it's authentic, and honestly, he's just playing the volume game. He posts 2, 3, sometimes even 4, sometimes even 5 times a day. So he really is just playing the volume game and posting as much as possible, but still being raw and authentic. Okay, there's 4 main styles of content he's actually posting. First of them being motivational, that type of content, main guru style of content. Then he's also posting a lot of lifestyle content, showing his watches, showing his cars, doing all those types of things. Also another very common guru style of content. But he is also posting a lot of content about high ticket sales. So how to sell more today, silence equals overthinking, high ticket over door to door. So he's posting a lot about that. You could consider this a bit of middle funnel content purely because he's actually speaking about the business model he's in, which obviously educates people more about what he does. Then his 4th style of content would be more yapping content, I'd say. So for example, 2 weeks ago, he posted a video about how he's not happy with the content he's been posting. He was posting a lot of lifestyle, a lot of flexing, and he was kind of just being real with his audience and saying like, listen, I've been posting a lot of this. I've been, doing this for other people, trying to make other people happy and impress other people. And that's not why he started. He hasn't been to church in a few weeks, those types of things. So he's being real. He's being authentic with his audience. He's just showing the real side of what he's been thinking about. And that builds a very, very strong connection with his audience. So that's the main kind of strategy behind the short form side of things. Overall, not too complicated. He's literally just posting as much as possible, being raw, being authentic, and obviously posting a lot of top of funnel content while incorporating a bit of middle funnel content. Okay. In terms of his stories, though, he's posting a lot of student testimonials. As you guys can see over here, he's got a lot over there, still more over here. And he's actually showing some good testimonials, in my personal opinion, on pace to make 20K. This offer is doing 400K a month. We took this guy from 3K to 10K. He's showing a lot of wins, as you guys can see as well. He's got 2 student results tabs in his IG highlights. So he is posting a lot of student testimonials, which is obviously helping people and, proving to people that he actually knows what he's talking about and he actually helps people make more money. So that's the main content strategy. As I said, it's just raw, it's authentic, and posting a lot of student testimonials in terms of short form. Okay, now to get into the long form side of things, he is posting a lot of educational content. Not enough, in my personal opinion, but he's still posting it. Okay, so he's on pace to make 9K in his 3rd month of high ticket sales. What is high ticket sales? My DM setting framework. And he's also posting a lot of lifestyle content, as you guys can see here. But it's still also posting that yapping style content, just being real with his audience, just posting general stuff, giving business advice, giving life advice, sharing his personal experiences. It's very, very similar to his Instagram strategy, specifically because it's very raw, very authentic, not very edited whatsoever. But also, he's still yapping to his audience. He's still giving general business advice, but he's also still showing the lifestyle. Okay, so that's also the main strategy. Honestly, as I said, very, very similar to the Instagram side of things. Okay, and he is still linking his free training over here. I'll get into that a bit later. Then he does have a 2nd channel, and this is kind of what the link in or his descriptions of his videos look like. So he's got his free training link over here, his one-on-one mentorship, how to become a high ticket closer. That's just a 2nd video. You could consider that content flywheel, where he's just directing them to another video to educate them further. And then from there, there's definitely a link under that video to obviously sign up. Okay, he's obviously got on IG as well, and then he's got a 2nd channel. Honestly, don't know the purpose of the 2nd channel, purely because he's posting pretty similar styles of content on this channel compared to this channel. He's posting a lot of education. He's posting a lot of yapping content, beware of opportunities, what is high ticket sales, 6 questions you need to ask in every high ticket sales call. Like, he's posting very similar styles of content, and honestly, I don't know the reason for this. He hasn't posted in a month, so maybe he's just going to leave this channel alone and not post on it. But yeah, I really don't understand what the point of this is, specifically because he's posting the exact same style of content. The only time I would ever recommend someone to actually have a 2nd channel is where On one channel, you're posting specifically about one topic, and then the other channel, you're posting about another topic, completely different topic. Similar to what Brett Scales is doing. He's got his one channel where he's talking or about his business and actually giving educational content. And he's got obviously his main channel where he's actually just talking about or vlogging his lifestyle. That's the only time I would ever recommend someone have a second channel. But overall, not too bad. Just to let him know as well, if anyone knows him that's watching this, in this video description, so for the How to Become a High Ticket Closer in 2025, there's a link in that bio and it just takes you to this page. It is his most viewed video, so I definitely recommend him changing that out. But overall, as you guys can see with the main style content, it's literally just raw, authentic. He's playing the volume game. He's posting as much as possible. He's posting a lot of top of funnel content. And overall, I think he's doing a very, very good job in terms of the content side of things. See, I think it's honestly a very, very good looking funnel. If anyone wants to copy a funnel, I'd recommend checking his out. But in the copy, he's obviously calling out his ICP. Jake did drop out of college, means he's going to, attract a lot of college students. Okay, so he's obviously calling them out and, appealing to that, how I skipped college and hit 10 to 20K a month. Okay, meaning that his audience is probably looking to get out of college, so obviously he is attracting to that. Then another recurring theme you'll see throughout the funnel is that he's talking about high ticket sales and being this one simple skill. You don't have to do anything else. You just get calls on your calendar. And he's framing it as this one simple skill. All you're doing is helping people make a decision. And he frames it in that certain way throughout the funnel. Okay, as you guys can see in the subtext over here, build a life you actually want, work from anywhere, earn 5 figures per month. Obviously, appealing to them from building the life they want, working from anywhere they want, earning 5 figures per month online. And then obviously just handling a few objections without a degree, previous experience, or being extroverted. That's obviously a few objections they just get with the, being in high ticket sales and promoting this business model. Okay. Overall, I think the funnel is very, very good. He's got the application link under there. He's got a lot of student testimonials, which is amazing. Then he has another link over there, which is good, and another link at the bottom. So overall, I think it's a very, very good looking funnel. And I did break down the VSL. So for example, hook about seeing other people succeed. What he says here is pretty much, are you tired of seeing other people succeed, make 5 figures a month, quit their jobs, drop out of high school, drop out of college, and do all these things, and you're still stuck in college? Like, he obviously hooks them in with that. They introduces high ticket sales and how easy it is, saying that, you could be in college or you could be doing high ticket sales, earning 5 figures per month, and all you're doing is hopping on calls with people and helping them make a decision. It's a recurring theme throughout the BSL. He's just framing it as, all you're doing is helping people, make a decision. Super, super simple. Then he addresses objections people give to being in sales. For example, one was about being extroverted. He obviously handles that over here. Then he's also addressing the one of, being too salesy. You don't want to be like a salesperson and super pushy, and you're like feeling like a scammer or whatever it is. And he obviously just addresses that and says, all you're doing is helping them make a decision. You're not forcing anyone to do anything. You're not doing anything like that. Okay. Then he goes into showing a lot of student testimonials. Mainly over this part, he shows people who have gone from pretty much 0 to 10 to 3 to whatever it is. He's showing the people who went from 0 to X amount of dollars very, very quickly. Then he goes into telling a story. So for example, he goes, I dropped out of college, then I started drinking for 3 months and I decided to change my life around. Then I started high ticket sales. My first month, I actually made $10,000. Then obviously it shows how high ticket sales just changed his life. Okay. Then he goes into explaining the business model and how easy it is. As I said, he's framing it as the fact that all you're doing is hopping on calls with people and helping them make a decision. That's the way he frames it. It's nothing too complicated whatsoever. Honestly, the framing is super, super important with this VSL because it sells the business model and how easy it is. Okay. Then he breaks down other business models and shows you how complicated they are. For example, he goes into Amazon FBA and talks about how complicated Amazon FBA is and how complicated dropshipping is and how complicated trading is and SMMA. So he's breaking down these business models and how complicated they are and saying like, you could do these, they all work, or you could just do high ticket sales, learn this one skill, you get calls on your calendar, and all you do is help people make a decision. That's the way he frames it. Then obviously from there, he's giving more social proof and saying like how these people did it. Then he goes into making his system seem unique. So that's another key point in this VSL is he's making his system and how he does things seem very, very unique and special. Then he starts walking them through the product and what it actually consists of. So 15 weekly group calls, course content, access to his phone number, all those types of things. Then he goes into separating his offer from other offers. Meaning, he goes, okay, cool. So we're not only going to teach you how to become a sales rep and those types of things, but we're also going to place you on an offer. That's another key lever he pulls on a lot with the offer is obviously he's not only teaching them how to become a sales rep, he's obviously getting them on offers, which is a very strong lever he is putting on. Then I like this framing. Honestly, I'm going to start using it. He's making it seem like it doesn't need you to join and not joining only affects you. Okay. Pretty much he says is like, no, I don't need you to do it. I don't need you to join. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. It's only going to affect you. I like this framing. It flips it onto them and puts you in an authority position. Okay. So I do like that. I'm going to start using it. Then he goes into obviously the CTA to book that call. Super, super simple. Overall, I do think it's a very good VSL, one of the better ones I've seen over the past few months. So if you guys are looking to copy someone's VSL, I recommend going to check his out. But overall, I think it's a very, very good VSL. Okay, in terms of the application link, super simple as well. It's just a type form. Okay, do you have 10 hours to dedicate to this? What's your current experience with high ticket sales? Now, complicated. What is your long-term goals? It's just figuring out what their goals are. Then he asks them to put their information in from there. Super simple. I like that he's not putting in the, what is it now? I like that he's not putting in the information capture in the beginning, specifically because that reduces the opt-in rate or total completion rate with Typeforms a lot. We've seen it, reduce it from anywhere from 10 to even 20% sometimes. So it does reduce the opt-in rate if you put this as the first question. So I'm glad he's putting it as the fourth question. Then from there, he just asked them, why are you a good fit? Honestly, I don't really like this question specifically because it's a lot of fake scarcity. People know that they're gonna, if they have the money, he's gonna let them join. It's not like he's turning people away. So I don't like this question whatsoever. Just it's very fake. It's very like saying 5 spots a day. I don't like this question whatsoever. But he's also making people type in. I don't like that as well. It honestly increases friction so much throughout a funnel, and it is probably gonna make someone just leave the type form and not respond. So I'd honestly recommend removing this, and I never ever put any questions where they have to type. As I said, it just increases the friction a lot, and also the framing of the question just isn't great. Okay, then he goes into how much they actually have to invest. So 1K, 3K, or 5K, pretty much super simple. Honestly, the type form is pretty solid other than that one question. And then obviously just saying, before you pick a time, can you make sure you pick a time that you can actually attend? Super simple. Overall, I think the type form is clear, concise. I like that he's putting the email or the information capture in the fourth question or the first one. And then I just don't like this one question over here. But overall, not too bad. In terms of the thank you page, once you actually book a call, you're going to get hit with this video and this page. So in this video is just saying congratulations for booking that call. As you can see, 99% of people don't do this, don't take this first step. So congratulations on taking the first step. And then he just tells them to do 3 simple steps. Check your phone, or check your emails. You just got an email, so add it to your calendar. Then he tells you to answer the phone when his team actually calls you, because obviously there's a triage call involved. Then he's obviously telling you to go watch a lot of these videos down below. Okay, I'll break down these videos. So these are called breakout videos. If you guys want to learn more about these, I recommend going to check out Jeremy Haynes. He talks a lot about these. He actually coined the term. And as a part of the Have a Them strategy. So check him out if you want to learn about that. But pretty much what a breakout video is used for and what it is, it's literally just like a 2-minute clip of you answering a specific question. So as you can see, he's like, what is high ticket sales? What is the time commitment? Do I need experience to start? Is high ticket sales saturated? How does commissions work? Like, it's just answering these big questions that people have once they actually book in. And that's the idea of breakout videos, is just to answer their questions so that when they hop on the call, they're more educated to what actually high ticket sales is and how it honestly works. Okay. But he's also handling objections. How long till I see results? Do I need experience? Because that's obviously an objection they get. People think they need experience to start, and he's obviously just handling that. But not only that, he is, getting in front of them. Well, these are probably 20 minutes of clips over here. And if they watch the full 20 minutes of all these clips, they're going to be way more educated and way more likely to buy from him just because they've spent more time watching his content. That's a recurring theme with anyone who's doing well, is they're always pumping them with long form content straight after they book in so that they're more educated when they actually hop on the call. This is the Have a Them strategy by Jeremy Haynes. I'd recommend going to check him out just once again. Okay. Then next steps, check your inbox. My team member will reach out to you and just come prepared. Super simple, and then shows a lot of student testimonials. I like that he does have some longer format student testimonials, so it's not just like a minute clip like the front page of the funnel, but I do like that they are long form, and he's obviously showing a lot of student testimonials. Okay, overall I think the funnel is very, very good, other than that one question in the type form. But overall, I think it's very good. It's clear, concise. It's exactly what he needs. It's super, super clean. It looks good. So overall, I think it's very good. In terms of the sales process, though, so super simple as well. You book a call. Straight from there, you're going to get an email from Calendly, which is weird. I just to let you guys know, I didn't get any emails from him after the fact I booked in. I only got that one email from Calendly, which is pretty weird. Honestly, let me find that email. It's just super simple email from Calendly. Okay. Then from there, obviously, you're going to get a triage call from his team. What a triage call is pretty much just confirming your call, getting more information on who you are, where you're at in your journey, what your problems are, those types of things, and then making sure you actually have the money to invest. Okay, that's the main idea of a triage call, is to make sure they're going to show up, make sure they have the money, and get more information on where they're actually at. Okay, one thing that stood out to me in the triage call and that made me realize he's getting a lot of unqualified people through his funnel is the fact that they were asking me, what do I know about high ticket sales? Like, generally, I've never seen anyone ask that. So it's pretty unique to see that, meaning he's obviously getting a lot of unqualified people through the funnel. People don't even know what high ticket sales is. Okay. Then from there, after the triage call, once you are qualified, they're going to place you in a group chat with the closer. Okay. Then from there, they're going to make sure you watch all the breakout videos to answer all your questions. Then they're going to start sending you some long form videos to educate you, and then they're just going to give you a call 3 hours before. Overall, sales team super, super dialed in. That's one of the key points I took out of this. The triage call literally came in within 5 minutes. If you're having a few problems with show up rates or close rate, whatever it may be, I'd recommend checking if your triage call or your dialers are actually calling people 5 minutes out. We've seen a 30 to sometimes even a 40% drop-off rate from when people answer. So, for example, if you're not calling within 5 minutes, you're going to see a problem with that drop off in pickup rate, show rate, all those types of things. So I'd recommend checking out if your triage callers are actually calling people within 5 minutes. That's kind of the sweet spot. Over that, you generally see a drop off. Okay. Super simple. That's just straight from the book a call funnel. And then in terms of the free training, so once you opt in, if you don't book a call or fill out the type form or do anything like that, you're going to get a call from the dialers. Okay. Pretty much what this is going to do is they're going to try and get you booked in. So it's different from the triage call specifically because you haven't booked in yet. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get you booked in because you've shown interest, you've shown that you want to learn about this in some capacity. And then from there, they're trying to get you booked in on a call. Then from there, once they book you in the call, same process, email from Calendly. This does not happen because obviously they're qualifying you on this call from the dialers where you opt in. And then you obviously place in a group chat with closes. Make sure you watch all the breakout videos, sending you a few long form videos, and then call 3 hours before. Okay, so overall, sales process is super, super dialed in. A few things I would add in is some email automations, just because right now everything's automated. It's all done by a sales team. Everything, there's no emails whatsoever, which is super weird. I've never seen anyone not run emails. I think they're always beneficial. Maybe he just adds in a few reminder sequences or adds in a full hammer them strategy where he's actually emailing them and hammering them with emails, answering questions, handling objections, and setting expectations for the call, for the program, and being in high ticket sales. I'd recommend doing that just specifically because everything's super, super manual right now. Sometimes people do make mistakes, and I'd rather not rely on someone to, be on their A game because sometimes they aren't. But yeah, super, super simple. Not complicated whatsoever. I just got a phone call, so I don't know if you guys heard that. But overall, I think it's super, super dialed in right now. The content's absolutely amazing. A few things I would change in terms of the content side of things is literally just adding in a few more educational videos because he's getting a lot of, unqualified leads coming through the funnel. So I focus on educating his audience more. It'll also build a lot more goodwill with his audience. Okay, a few things that will change in the funnel is literally just that one question. Overall, I think it's very, very good. As I said, the sales process, I would just add in a few more emails because I didn't get any emails. But overall, I think his sales team super, super dialed in. I'll give him props on that side of things. His sales team is dialed in. The dialer wasn't a bot. He actually asked me decent questions. I was put in a group chat very, very quickly. They were sending me voice notes. They were very interactive with me. So I do think his sales team's super, super dialed in. They're running a book a call funnel, but they're also doing events like webinars and those types of things. So I think I would tack on that X50 or 100K for him, and I think it would take him to the next level. Another reason I always recommend people to do this is specifically because not everyone's going to convert through a book a call funnel. Sometimes they have, limiting beliefs around a book call funnel and saying like, I don't want to be pushed into a sale or it's super salesy or whatever it may be. Some people just aren't going to convert through a book call funnel. So you always want to have a different method of converting people. Maybe it's a low ticket, it's a high ticket, maybe it's a webinar, whatever it may be. I always like to have a secondary way of people actually, booking a call and actually buying your product, because some people just aren't going to buy from your main source of getting leads and converting leads. Okay. Another thing I would add in is ads. He's doing super, super well with organic, but I would add in some ads just because it's also going to tack on that next 50 or 100K. But yeah, as I say, guys, the guy's doing absolutely amazing. I think everything's pretty much dialed in. As I said, there's a few things I would add in. Book a call with me if you're looking for some help with your info products. And if you run your own info product agency or a growth operator, to say that, my Instagram's down below, so you guys can go check that out and message me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have. But that's just a breakdown on Jake Ryan Closes and how he's making $150,000 a month. Hope you guys got some value from this video. Peace out. I don't know what the fuck I said. Peace out. That was pretty gay.